As many of you know, Epiphone just came out with some new top-of-the-line models they're calling Inspired by Gibson Custom. I think a lot of guitar players will be excited about the features, which include top-quality Gibson pickups, high-quality pots, caps, jacks, and switches, along with correct construction details and, of course, the long-desired Gibson-style headstock. I'll be reviewing one in the very near future. But in the meantime, if you're one of the many who are recoiling from the $1,300 to $1,400 price tag, well, a nicely upgraded Epiphone can be had for about half that price. And that's what we're going to do today. Well, the new top-tier Epiphones do look very nice. And eventually, I'll let you know if I think they're worth the money. But for now, just for fun, let's take one of the original run of Inspired by Gibson Epiphones, and by making a couple of key improvements, see if we can be happy spending a lot less money. I reviewed this ES335 Traditional Pro about a year ago, and it's certainly more than decent in stock form. In fact, only a couple of things bugged me enough to do something about. First, while the Epiphone pickups aren't bad, some top-quality pickups should elevate the sound significantly. For this, I chose Seymour Duncan 59s for a couple of reasons. Now first, they're great sounding, traditional PAF style, and should work well with this guitar. And second, they've been around a very long time, so finding reasonably priced used examples isn't usually too difficult. Now, taking another look at the guitar, most of the other components are fine and are unlikely to impact function or sound. I could replace the switch, output jack, tuners, and bridge, but honestly, those parts seem solid enough and are functioning well, and I'm not sure there's much benefit that would justify the expense or the work. The fingerboard is another matter, though. Some of these Indian laurel boards look pretty good, and I don't have a problem with how they feel. Now this one isn't bad, just a little too light and dry looking. Now oiling the board makes it look a little better, but it's temporary and it doesn't really deepen the color significantly once it dries. Well, recently I've come across a product that should really do the job. This is Monty's Monty Presso Guitar Relicing Wax, and it should make the fingerboard look darker and richer. Now Monty's is a company in the UK, and they make a wide variety of cool products, from pickups and wiring harnesses to complete guitars. Now you can purchase directly from them or one of their dealers. I bought mine from Chicago Music Exchange. Now I didn't bother to shoot the pickup install. There are endless video tutorials about pickup installation, and you don't need to watch me do it or hear the colorful language that accompanies installing pickups in a semi-hollow. But briefly, I used the 4-wire 59 for the neck pickup and tied it into the existing harness so the neck pickup coil split will be fully functional. Now for the bridge, I used a traditional 2-conductor pickup, so I removed the push-pull pot and installed a full-size volume pot. Now the logic is simple. For me, I can see some potential value in splitting the neck pickup for rhythm, but I certainly don't want to thin out the bridge pickup. Okay, the pickups are in. It looks like the resistance for the neck 59 is 7.3K, and the bridge is 8.1K. Let's see if the neck coil splitting is working. Yes, I'm getting 3.7K, which is about right. All right, it's time to move on to treating the fingerboard. Now basically, you just rub a generous amount of the Monty Presso all over the fingerboard and let it sit. It can be left on anywhere from 15 minutes to 48 hours. Then you just wipe it off and buff it up. Now if it's not dark enough, you can reapply several times if necessary. This is a stain, so rubber gloves are a must. Well, I let it sit overnight, a little over 17 hours. Let's clean it up and see what we have. Wow, I'd say this is a big improvement. I'm actually quite happy with the fingerboard now. I thought maybe I'd need at least one more application, but I might just stick with this. It looks nicer than a lot of the rosewood boards you see these days. Kudos to Monty's. So I've strung it up, checked the neck relief, action and intonation. We're ready to give it a listen. While this exact model doesn't appear to be available new any longer, it's not much different than the Epiphone 335s currently available, which sell new for about $600. But you can pick up a perfect condition used example for $400 or $500, sometimes even less, because there are a lot of them out there. Now, of course, they're perfectly fine out of the box with only a setup, but in my opinion, these few key upgrades can really take them up a notch. So let's hear it in a mix. Now, some people buy a guitar planning a long list of upgrades, while others don't want to do a thing other than play it. Now, regardless of where you stand on that spectrum, it's important to enjoy it and not expect it to gain a lot of extra value if you decide to sell it. In fact, if you're outfitting an inexpensive guitar with expensive parts, usually you're much better off keeping the old parts and putting it back to original before selling, and then selling those expensive parts separately. Well, thanks so much for watching. This has been a little different than most of my videos, so I hope you got some value out of it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you again very soon.